Hello everyone, this is Inara back here. Today is 21st March, World Poetry Day, and as I've always told you, poetry holds a very significant part in my life. It holds a special place in my heart, and poetry has indeed been an elixir for me through all my traumatic events, all my illnesses, through every shortfall, every roadblock that I've come across. Poetry has always been my savior. Poetry has always been my armor and my sword and my shield in this battle of life. So to celebrate the World Poetry Day, usually we do it in our TSL group as a gathering in Delhi together, but now amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, we are all advised to stay indoors. So yes, I decided to do this YouTube video where I would read a few of my poems and celebrate the World Poetry Day in a small way, in my own little way. And I hope you enjoy my reading these poems. So I'll start with one poem, which is actually the title of my fifth poetry book, When the Nebula Sings. This book was published in 2019 August, and since I have not been much around on social media, most of you don't know much about the book. Anyways, I'll be reading the poem now. When the Nebula Sings. The prelude began so many eons ago, in an imbroglio of kaleidoscopic hues, swept across skies unknown, suspended in space in a numbing animation. It swirled and gyred deeper down a fathomless pit, traversing space, dismantling science, upholding its own ethics, an amalgamation of the calm and the storm, conceived in the darkest hours of the night, lured through intoxicating taverns of pain. It grew and grew against all odds, because it never knew what giving up was. And finally, in the dawn that metamorphosed into twilight, a million twinkling stars were born, each brighter than the other, telling yet another story of sanguine battles fought and won, running barefoot against the merciless avalanche of time. But today the nocturnal canvas was flooded with a light it barely witnessed, as planets stopped in mid-motion to watch in awe the spectral wonder. Melbourne, Las Vegas, Paris, no glittering city lights could match this flame. And the whole world, despite itself, looked up to this nameless void, long eclipsed by the idiosyncrasy of a population that could be anything but selfless. Once a lone stifled soul, today it had rewritten its own catharsis. In the picturesque of disintegrated metaphors that adorn the horizon, spelling a different story of freedom beyond midnight, a music ethereal, enthralling, enmeshed in a saga of pain and loss. The lyrics too enchanting to not stop and lend a ear to a silence long last broken with such a melodious, albeit powerful frenzy. For it's nothing short of magic when, spewing out a coda of stardust in an enigmatic aurora, the nebula finally sings. Thank you so much. I hope you liked listening to this poem. Now I'll come with some other poems which I have planned for today. Another kind of beauty. People always fell in love with her smiles. She was like that. Or should I say, so she seemed. As the magic of her words, her laughter was music to their ears. But they never saw the tears that dripped endlessly into the pillow every night. All night long, they marveled at her long brown tresses, her big blue mascara-laden eyes, the way she was, a little crazy, a little messy, and yet so very different, so very full of life. Indeed, she was different. But then they didn't know that though she encompassed everyone in her umbrella of joy, she wasn't the one who could belong to anyone. No, you could just admire her ethereal presence from a distance. She wasn't someone you could put in a golden bejeweled cage and enjoy the lyrics of her magic. She was someone who had learned to live and let go, for she knew everything has a shelf life, and she knew it well enough. How denizens of a modern dystopia become aliens in seconds, and she had accepted it in her stride, everything that came and went, life that morphed into variegated shades, and yet she dared to live through it all. She wasn't your usual kind of girl, the one who would get carried away by mere words, sweet and flattering, for she wasn't beauty in your conventional terms. She was wild, free, and unchained. She was there for everyone when they needed her, and yet she didn't need anyone, for she knew the true value of solitude and silence. She was beautiful, a potent, powerful, lethal beauty. Eyes that glistened with the promise of so many new dreams, new hopes, new aspirations. She knew the road less taken was one filled with uncertainties, and yet she chose to take that path. Alone. For long back she had understood that this was her journey, and she had no hand to hold, no shoulder to lean on, and that this was how her life was meant to be, full of smiles for the world to smile in her wake, but not to depend on someone else to make her smile. And in that process of growing up a lot in a little time, the burden of experience had cleared the mists of illusion, dried her tears, curbed her fears. And now that she had stopped chasing people, she had no strings attached. The lyrics of her life were her own, and in her own light she would never let her lose her way even in the darkest of nights, the gloomiest of days. And it was in her ordinariness that her extraordinariness lay. For even if everyone left, she was brave enough to continue the journey, for she wasn't just beautiful, she was powerful beyond expression. She was simply herself, the girl who dared to live and leave. And then she became the brightest star in the sky, for stars don't die. They just keep twinkling till eternity. Thank you so much. I hope you liked this poem too. And then I'll read my final poem from this. I'm spoiled for choices, to tell the truth, when it comes to reading poems. You know, I'm so fond of poetry. When the choice has been made. Yesterday I set myself aflame. The fire sizzled and crackled and burned, taking with it the last vestiges of tears, fears, pain, and all of it. The purple ribbon of memories came undone, consumed by the fire. Walls crashed, ruins burgeoning into the smoke rings of turrets of nostalgia, vanishing into the inky dark skies. Everything perished. Morning dawned. A soft, soothing glow on the still stirring embers, and a phoenix arose from the ashes, spreading its golden plumes, dusting off the remnants of all that didn't belong here anymore, and let out a shrill cry of retribution. The chase was over. Victim now victor, the paths had changed direction, and the new one held promises galore, promises to myself that I shall never even have an inkling of self-doubt again, that I shall rewrite my own destiny as the unconquered one. The choice had been made at long last, and from today there would be no looking back. For now the caged bird has been set free, and she shall chime the lyrics of her own victory. The struggle for survival will no doubt be an unending one, but hope would ignite the horizon, fierce and bright, and belief would metamorphose dreams into reality. Let the past be the past, for history shall not be repeated this time. For that's what I've chosen to do. No more suffering in silence, getting hurt by mangled words spurted by sadistic faces. I can easily drink in the venom of those poor troubled folks who only bark to pull me down. For me, it's an elixir for my determination. No time to dwell on bygones. The present shall define, reconstruct the future, where I, in my own world, shall be both ruler and ruled. Self-pity died a gruesome death last night in those shimmering golden flames, charred to mere nothings. Now there will be conviction, there shall be action. I am no longer afraid to venture unaided. For whom you saw yesterday was one vulnerable broken girl, but today she is power, beauty redefined, a terrible yet captivating resurrection. And the mirror is proud of her. She is the unconquered spirit who will battle on through every odd, dismantling all conventional notions. Chase her as much as you want. Try hard, harder, but once the bird has spread out her indigo plumes, her gaze will smolder, burn down all who block her road. So be careful, for when Sita turns Kali, there's no room for remorse. You shall get back what you give. For with self-doubt destroyed in the last vestiges of a fading day, I am no longer afraid to engage in a war of words, even words. The time for saying sorry, even when I wasn't wrong, has long gone. The girl you used to rise above her, crunching her into ignominy, has died a choice by choice. I am someone else whom you don't even remotely know. And don't even try to come close. For that streak of vengeance has entwined itself around me, has no mercy for anyone who dares to become a roadblock. I am decided. I have taken that leap of faith, making a choice, a firm decision that my story shall not repeat itself ever again, neither as my own nor as someone else's. If you have the power of hatred to ruin lives, I challenge you with my power of unconditional love to rebuild better, more powerful lives. For now I am well aware of my capabilities, abilities, and you can't ever guile me through despair or hopelessness. Today, I have reached a dangerously awesome level of freedom where nothing matters anymore. Now that the choice has been made, every lap of this journey shall be devoted towards justifying this choice. And when I reach the zenith, only few will be happy, but for the rest of you, there shall be nothing but regret. And as for me, I won't have even an ounce of pity or anger for you. Why? Because you don't even matter to me. One tiny bit. What matters is my choice, my decision, my way forward. And that's the reason I was reborn, to bring about a change you could have never dared. And in the end, that's all that matters. So goodbye to all that was, and welcome to a new beginning, now that the choice has been made. Thank you so much for listening to these poems. I hope you enjoyed listening to my poems, and these are indeed gloomy and depressing days, and even I was feeling quite depressed and low since the past few days because of the pandemic that's upon us, and hearing about the rising number of cases, casualties every day. It does put a depressing spell upon all of us. So I thought I may not be able to do this video today on World Poetry Day, but then I realized that poetry has always been my constant companion, and it's one thing that has made me live through each day in life, days that seemed impossible to go past through. I've made it through each day. Even now, grappling with all the struggles that I face, I make it through each day only because I have poetry as my elixir. And as one of the closest people to me said, poetry is my catharsis. Indeed, I agree. Poetry defines me through and through, and poetry is my catharsis. And I would request all of you, in the view of this pandemic, that stay home, stay safe, and stay happy. Spend more time with your family if you are living with your family. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm far away in Delhi, away from my parents. But then if you are with your family, spend quality time with your family. Write poems, do some creative work, do some hobbies, and don't panic. Let's all hope for a better future, and let's all hope that things fall into place and become normal. And as for me, I have made a promise to myself that because poetry has always been my savior, I will continue writing poetry till I keep living and breathing. This journey has been of 5 poetry collections and 2 novels so far, but this journey is yet to continue, and it will continue for as long as I am living and breathing. So please do mention in the comment section if you liked reading my poems, because appreciation from an audience is a poet's greatest gift. And hopefully you liked my poems, and I'll be coming up with my next episode soon enough, which will be probably about some motivational topic as usual. And so now, before I finally say goodbye, I'll share with you some few moments captured of my poetry sessions and my book launches, a few clips which I think you will enjoy watching. And now, coming to the clips. So I hope you liked watching those clips of the moments gone past. These days, sitting in home quarantine, all we do is flip past the past memories, golden days, how they look like. Someday the golden days will come back, and hope is what we have to sustain us. So keep hoping, living, believing. That's what I always say. And before I end this video, I need to thank my parents for their support, for their unending support and encouragement for me to help writing poetry. And always, my best friend Ajit has always been very supportive of my poems. Also, the Significant League, of which I am a member, and which includes Satbir Chadha, Dr. Ampat Koshi, Gauri Dikshit ma'am, Sunita Singh Di, Anna ma'am, all of them, they have been very supportive. And TSL is indeed a family where I feel great. Even if when I don't feel like writing, I can just simply go there and read those poems. And of course, Santosh Pakaya, the Mad Hatter, I love her poems and a way of telling, reciting them, and a way of joking about things. I love everything about TSL, and it's the biggest poetry family that I've got, and I'm blessed to have a family like that. So even though we couldn't celebrate World Poetry Day together because of the quarantine measures that we are taking to prevent the spread of corona, well, we have all had, probably all of us have had our own personal sessions like this one. So once again, I'll tell you, stay safe, stay happy, and keep hoping for the best. And hoping to see you soon in my next video. Till then, stay safe, stay happy, and take care. Signing off, Inara. Bye-bye.